Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another Sunday. Well, Sunday at the slash. It was not recorded on Sunday, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, today I got another person. She's in my network. As I said, I'm taking people from my network. People I've seen that inspired me, and yeah, she's one of the people that inspired me. And I guess she doesn't know that because in a way, first of all, let me. Who you are? What drives you? What's your name? Where you come from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Laurie,
Yeah.
and I'm from Sheffield. I have moved out a bit, so I've spent a bit of time in Manchester,
Yeah.
but I'm currently back in Sheffield now.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's where I'm from and who I am. My background.
Yeah.
Well, I have two children.
Right.
I met yourself at university on a course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done quite a bit of studying around IT. I'm currently self-employed.
Right.
I have my own business, and yeah, I work from home doing that, trying to build that and helping other people with their businesses.
Right. Okay, that's great. So that's like a brief information which you've given to me,
Yeah.
and for me, what I want is to be able to dig a little bit in to find out why you're doing business, why you're doing IT, why have you moved up and down, and why are you helping people, if that makes sense. So the first question I'll really ask is be looking at in terms of your background, in terms of you're doing IT, like why IT? What was the spark that told you you have to do IT? Was your parent who pushed you into IT? Was somebody inspired you? What made you go into, what your childhood? How did that entice you to go into IT?
So it starts back at high school, really.
Right.
So when it came to kind of GCSE times, so everybody was kind of doing the IT lessons.
Yes.
I had art because I love being creative, and it was something I was good at. I always knew I wanted to do something with businesses, so I did business studies. And I took Spanish as well.
Right.
So it started off there, and those were all things that I really, really loved. Then when I got to college, it was kind of expectations of what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to take. So I was kind of bombarded with too many subjects.
Right.
So we started off with an art A level, Spanish A level, which was essentially like doing two A levels in one.
Wow.
A business, so business studies, art, Spanish, and IT.
Right.
And it just became too much.
Yes.
And I kept going. I was skipping college because it wasn't stuff I wanted to do.
Right.
I think the only A level that I actually completed was my IT A level. But then I kind of said, you know what, guys, speaking to my parents, I want to do IT.
Right.
So I changed colleges and I did an advanced VCE in ICT.
Right.
And I did 2 years of that, and then from there I went to university, and I decided, you know what, I really love IT.
Let me pause you just a little bit before we jumped into university. You said there was so many things which you have to do, and you decided like it's too much for me to handle right now. What was it? A teacher who inspired you just to be like, why is it? What made you like IT? Like this is my topic, like day in day out, like.
I can't quite remember, to be honest. It was always something that I just enjoyed. I think if I look back at when I was doing it in IT at college, I just loved the subjects. Some of the topics were creative, so we were creating applications and we were solving problems. And I think that's what I really enjoyed doing. I got to do a bit of the creative side, which I was getting from my art. So I kind of gave me everything I wanted.
Right. So I believe it's that the power of creativity, and when you have the power of creativity in your hand, you can do anything. So I'm guessing that's one of the greatest things regarding IT is, even with the phone, you can do so many things that you're not limited to anything. You can be work, as you're saying right now. You're working at home, but you got in touch with a lot of people in the entire planet. If they want to contact you and you want they got the right information for you, they can get in contact with you. So that's the power of IT itself.
Yeah.
And would you, like, for example, if your parents did push you, like, okay, you have to do IT, would you ever do it? Or would you, I don't know, what's your mindset in terms of that?
I think because I enjoyed it, I probably would have done. My dad was actually in IT. My dad's in networking.
Right.
That was something else that I liked about it as well. It gave us something to talk about. So I remember I took one of the subjects was creating a ready reckoner.
Right.
And I was just obsessed with doing this ready reckoner, and he didn't know what one was. So I created this whole document to be able to teach him how to do ready reckoner. I'm sure we've still got a copy somewhere.
Yes.
It was all those different things, the creativity, the fact that it's forever changing, so that I wouldn't get bored.
Yeah.
It was something I could talk to my dad about. It was, that's kind of what started it
out. I did mention this when I was doing one other broadcast with one other person. Your childhood is really important. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Why for me, what I believe which is important is in terms of like children, is to see what they're interested in.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot push them like, oh, do this, do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, well, personally, for me, if somebody pushed me to do something, even I enjoy that thing, I'm not even going to enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing me to do that thing and I don't want to do it. I want to do it with my free will. So observing somebody and seeing like, oh, okay, actually this person is enjoying this. They like this. And then, you can be able to, like, you start seeing how I can be able to support this person, this child, or this individual in order for them to grow. So, and I think that's a really important thing for the audience to understand, that maybe you can be a parent, maybe you can be a child or whatever, that, you don't push somebody to do what you think they should do. Just observe what they're doing and to show them, like, you know what, I've seen a talent in you in this area, and I think just do it. And how can I be able to support you to do what you need to do? Because at the end of the day, sometimes, it's so crazy how sometimes you see people they're doing a doctor, and you're seeing from being a doctor they've decided to do business or doing something that you think like, why? Maybe they had a certain creativity which at the beginning of the childhood, but was hidden because maybe their parent couldn't see it, or the parent just like, oh no, that's not for you. You cannot do that. But I think it's important to mention to for success is to understand that the success, every single one of us, we have a different skill or strength that we need to push in. So okay, I've got something which is I think which is really important, is in terms of familyhood, in terms of the parents seeing you. And you seeing your parents they're doing something, your dad is doing something. I think, oh, I really enjoy that. And it's it's really encouragement, especially like for the parents, where they seeing you doing something and they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's spend an hour together figuring out how to program this thing. Let's figure together. Let's see how we can draw this. So that's really encouraging for you, knowing that, okay, my parents, they've got my back. And if your parents got your back, it doesn't matter if whatever anybody say, because my parents got my back.
And it's so important for parents to do that, because at school you become so lost. I mean, you're in a class of 29 to 30 of the children, and the teachers can't always see what it is that could be a passion that they can
100%.
nurture.
Yes.
And they just don't nurture that in school. It's just following the curriculum.
Yes.
So it's important for the parents to do it at home and help guide and support the children in the right direction.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's 100%. So you've done college, as you're saying. Did that drive did it go away for you in terms of like knowing at the end of your study, knowing like, oh, okay, did you already know like, okay, I want to go to university, I want to do this and that? Did you have that planned out already, or how was it?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to university. I love learning. So that was another thing about the IT, again, as I say, because it's always changing, because there are so many different areas of it grants me the opportunity to learn more. So yeah, going to university was a given. It was just, what was I going to go in? What was I going into? Because there's so many different areas. I mean, I was looking at I started with software engineering because I loved programming. But I was also looking at courses for internet security and hacking and all sorts. So yeah, it was different. But I ended up following the programming route because that's what I love the most. I think that granted me the most creativity. The ability to be more creative with the programming.
Right. So if for a general person who have no idea what's programming, what do you mean programming? Please explain to in a layer's term that somebody can be able to understand. Like, what is programming?
Oh gosh, let's just call it zeros and ones.
0 and 1s, right? So 0 and 1s.
Yeah, so it started off as zeros and 1s, so that's your binary.
Yeah.
But programming, I think the easiest way I can describe it is it's like learning a language, but it's a language that allows you to create something.
Right. So now, to create something on the computer.
Right. So it could be an application for your phone, so the apps that everybody uses. It could be creating something for computers. Like, for instance, you've got the people that developed the Microsoft Office and Word and things like that. Websites, anything.
Right. So so can anybody do it? Because so there's a I think there's a kind of like I remember when I was studying, like when I was in college, I think again there was a higher percentage of male doing it than females, and when it came to university, there was I'll say in our class we had only 3 females, which is like, wow, there's a big thing. So I think again, as I'm saying, I want to be able to, for anybody to be like, oh, I can also do this. I'm not limited to where I come from. I'm not limited from my background or whatever. I can also do it. If I have the will to do it, I can be able to do it. So how was your journey in learning programming? Because it's not like easy. It's not something like easy thing somebody can pick up. Like, what did you do in order to saying that I want to go to uni, I'm interested in IT, programming is something which I would like to do. How's your mindset? How is it when you're struggling to figure out what to do?
You've got to be very determined and very you've just got to be very motivated, because it's a lot of reading. You have to do the reading to be able to understand the things. Then you have to be able to translate your reading into actually creating prototypes and things like that and testing it. And it's not giving up, because it can be very very frustrating in programming particularly. I mean, for instance, you could create a whole program have one full stop out of place, and it will break everything. And it's having that kind of patience to go through it, and stick with it. So if you're someone who's determined and you're able to have that patience, and you enjoy seeing something come from nothing, then it's definitely for you. And in terms of restrictions, I would say there aren't any. Anybody could go and do it. I mean, I think there were 3. There was probably 2 of us in my first IT course, females, and maybe 3 of us that were black. In my first course. In my second one, there were 2 of us that were black, 3 of us were female. When I went to university, in my first course, I was the only female. And I was the only black female. My second course, again, there were females there. And then for my last course, again, there were even more females. So it did start off kind of a more male-dominated kind of area, but over the years it's progressed, and there are a lot more females getting into IT now. Which is good, because again, I think diversity is very important to be able to have a collection of people. They're not thinking the same. I
again, that's IT in a sense that you're speaking about solving problems. You know, you cannot solve a problem if you don't know what is the problem. If that makes sense. You know, so it's having that people like, okay, you think this is the problem, but guess what? The community, they're having the same problem in terms of this, and the end user, the one that's programmed to do this, not what you want to do, your design. So in terms of what you're saying, in terms of like being able to be to be passionate, to have to be able to raise, to take time and patience to learn the coding. How do you take that skills and apply it in your daily life? You know, like, you know, you're there, you know, it's crazy because like when it comes to program or whatever, you can spend the entire day just being looking at your screen. And you know, I remember once I was looking at the screen and thinking, I'm following a YouTube video and I've done every single thing the guy did, and I'm going through this. I'm just doing that. I'm thinking, yo, there's nothing. I've not done anything wrong. It's completely right. And I just decided, like, you know what? Let me walk away because this I've done what I could do, you know. And I came back later on, and I'm looking at it and I said, crap, that full stop there.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times where I've gone to bed when I was at uni, and I've got my assignment to do, and it's not working. And I'm sleeping, and I'm like, what is the answer to this problem? And then it comes to me in the middle of the night, and it's like, right, okay,
I got it.
the next morning, fix it now. But you definitely have to take breaks. You definitely have to step away and give yourself a break. Go and do something mundane. When you're in that type of work, you need to go and do something very mundane. If you're working from home, go make a cup of tea. Go and wash the dishes. Go and take a walk outside in the garden if you need to. Come back and go at it again. And it's being methodical. And you can practice that in your daily life by, for instance, doing to-do lists, writing them down and checking them off. Because you then get into that practice of when you're working in IT, if you do encounter a problem, you're able to go through step by step, and you're used to doing it. It's not something like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this all over again. You know you've done each step and you've completed each step.
Yeah, right. And one other thing which I look at, as you're saying, is to be able to take a break. Because, you know, again, that's how that life is challenging, like you're not. And that, again, that's a simple example which you've given. Like we're just talking about computers, you know, and it's just a little full stop that can, you know, that can be like, okay, it's not working, you know, and that's how life can be. That you might find yourself you're stuck at a certain thing, and you're just like, I cannot do it. You know, being able to step back, I just like, okay, why is it not working? Did I do something stupid? What's going on? And start being able to reflect back. And I think that's really important. So again, which is showing that success, for you to be able to be successful, success is being able to try, you fail, okay? Again, I think that's not the right word. Fail, when you speak about failing, is not giving it the second attempt. So, and when you've tried, it's not working. Like, okay, can I try in this way? Then can I try in another way? Were you able to, special again, I believe in terms of uni, were you able to, like, okay, you've done something, it's not working, where you're like, okay, I need to ask somebody else?
I mean, you need to. You need to be able to go and ask people for help. To be able to know that it's okay to go and ask those questions. And it's not, like I say, it's not failure. It's just the way you're doing it is not working.
There's something wrong, which I've done.
It's okay to go and ask that person, because you never know, having that conversation with them anyway and letting them know that you need a bit of help with something, it might give you an answer to something else you hadn't even thought of, and give you a new way of trying things.
So again, I think to emphasize that's really important in terms of, you know, I might know something, you know, okay, I'm really good at programming, whatever, and there's a same topic where it comes to, like, I'm just like, what the hell's this? I have no idea. So that ability of yourself knowing, I know my strength, this is my strength, and then, you know what, I'm not really good at that area, and to be able to be like, you know what, even though I'm not good at that area, I feel stupid, I need to go to somebody else who's above me in a way that they're doing it to be like, okay, how do you do this? What?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. I don't know. I think I've been in the position. I don't know if you've been in that position where you're in that classroom and they're teaching. You're thinking, I think I'm the dullest person in this classroom right now because they're saying they're using some terms, they're using something where you're just like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But as long as you're in that environment, sooner or later you'll be start using the same words, and you're thinking like, wow, 2 weeks ago or a month ago, I couldn't use these terms. I could, but I'm using this term because I've allowed myself to be in that environment itself. And so from you, I feel like I'm talking more than you should be. You want me talking more, to be honest. In terms of you go like when you start doing uni, because you said you did 3 courses.
Yeah, so I went to uni. I went to college twice because I changed. Then I started software engineering degree at Manchester Metropolitan. So that was the first time I moved away. And I did 2 years, and then I had one of those moments in the classroom where I was like, I do not get this, and I failed one of my modules. And because I couldn't get it, and I just didn't think I'd be able to make it up in the summer, I redid the whole year with 3 of them. I retook 3 of the modules. So I redid that one, and then I picked 2 of my lowest scoring modules, and I redid half of that year. So I spent 3 years doing that. And then I fell pregnant with my son. Actually, it was about a month into doing my last year there. And I moved back to Sheffield. I decided, whilst I liked programming, I didn't like the programming language that I redid. And I found out that they were going to be doing that the whole of the final year, and I just thought, I don't want to do it. So instead of commuting, I changed my courses. I'm still in the IT field. I went to Sheffield Hallam instead, and I took interactive media with animation. And I did, because I'd already done a bit of computing, I did a few assessments out of uni. And then she said, okay, do you know what? We can see you can do IT. We're going to put you on the second year of the course instead of starting from the beginning. So I did my second year. Then I did a placement year, and then I did my third year. So I did 3 years at one uni, and then 3 years at a different uni doing a different course. And then after that, I went back and did my master's, being nearly 2 years ago now.
So that's amazing, because again, that success is there. I can see that success in terms of, there's some people that, okay, if I try it, it doesn't work, that's it. That there's some people just like that, but you just shown that no matter when you have the desire, or you're waiting to do something, it might take you longer. It might take longer. It doesn't mean because it takes longer you cannot, you might not be able to achieve it. You're going to achieve it. So again, having those patience, even be able to be like, okay, you know what, okay, in terms of, like, I can look at it in terms of even sport or boxing, whatever. There's a period of time where you're seeing that person is punching, and there's a certain time where you think like, yo, this person is out of breath. It's going to be beaten up. But the willingness to be able to be like, okay, I'm still in the game. I'm still there. As long as I'm still breathing, there's still opportunity. There's still a way of me making it. So when you got pregnant, I don't know the side effect of you being getting pregnant. How was your ward like at that time or that period? Were you expecting to be pregnant? Like, what was the surrounding in terms of that?
It's crazy because I did the first 2 years, and then the next year I was going to take a placement. So everybody had already been applying for different placements, and I actually got a position with the MOD, with the Ministry of Defence, and I was doing programming with them. And I was so excited because this was just like an amazing experience that I was going to have. And then I found out that I'd just missed out on passing one of my modules. So I thought, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in the holidays.
Right.
So I'm going to have to retake the year. I'm not going to be able to do this placement now. So I had to give that up. And then, like I say, and then I found out I was pregnant. So it was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, retaking that whole year, I think it was easier because I wasn't doing the full course. I was doing, so out of 6 modules, I only did 3 for that year. I had a bit more flexibility.
Yes.
But yeah, it was different.
Right.
There was a lot of tiredness and all the things that come with being pregnant.
Yes.
But it was also persevering through it as well, because I was 21 at the time.
Right.
I was already a year or 2 older than some of the people in my class. When I went back and redid, there was another female on the course, but there still weren't very many of us.
Yes.
And I'm turning up pregnant as well.
Yes.
So it was kind of pushing through all the kind of glances and stares and what you're doing, and making sure you keep going and you just finish it.
Right. And you have to be in your zone. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time, again, when it comes culturally or whatever, you know, you be like, okay, how is she pregnant, whatever. You have to get in your brain like, you know what, my life is my life. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened, because I want it to, you know, it happens. Like you're not. And you have to get in that zone where everybody's noise is not important to you anymore. Because again, being a young person, whatever, what tends to happen is we are listening to the noise of everybody else. We don't listen to our voices. We don't listen to in our inside us. Like, okay, you know what? This is what I want. You know what I'm saying? So finding your voice becomes a part of us. When you find your voice, you know, like, okay, this is my value. This is what I believe. This is what I'm driving for. You know, so I believe I think you're 100% you did it. You know, because, you know, when somebody is staring at you, even like some, you know, there's some people just by them staring at you, you feel embarrassed. You know, you think like, what the hell? Have I done something? Am I smelling? What the hell's going on? Why are you looking at me that way? There's some people who can just do that, and at the same time, they don't know what you're going through. So being able to just to let everything go, I'm just like, you know what? This is my target. This is what I'm here to do a mission, and I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say about me. My aim is let me get that degree and go. That's it. And that's the thing. And again, speaking to young people, speaking to people, maybe you want to go into IT. Maybe you are surrounded with people where you just like the bad influence on you. You know, find your voice, find your dream, find what you wanted to do, and when you found that, you know, it doesn't matter what people say. And it's crazy, like a group of friends which you had in your secondary school is not a group of friends you had in college or even at university, even after you finish university, you know. So understanding that you who you are or the mistake which you made, it doesn't matter. You know, and I think that's really important in terms of young people or even old people to understand that, because sometimes we are so consumed of our reputation of our parents or reputation of the community, or this person will say this, like, it doesn't matter if they say it or not. I personally, I don't really care, you know. And again, that's what makes success. Success is being able to focus on your target or on your dreams and to be like, let me go. This is what I've been called to do. Let me go. And no matter how difficult it is, I'm going to push forward. Yes, so you're pregnant, then you have your child. How was that experience?
New. Very different. My son was actually quite sickly when he was young.
Right.
So say I did my whole year pregnant, and then I think I went back to take my final exams. I must have been like 8 months pregnant, something like that. And then I'd already moved back. I moved back home, so I moved back to Sheffield. So I got situated. I was waiting for my results to come in from that year, deciding whether I was going to go back and commute or what I was going to do. But then I was also backwards and forwards after I had my son to the hospital, because he had quite a few issues when he was a baby. So that was an experience experience in itself.
Yeah.
But I just knew that I still wanted to finish. I wanted to finish what I'd started. I wanted to have a good job. I had a family now. I needed to help provide for the family.
Yes.
So I mean, I was straight on it. I contacted the universities and thought, I need to get these things in place now.
Yes.
So I made my decision, contacted Sheffield Hallam University, found out who the course leader was on the course that I liked.
Yes.
Had a meeting with her. I went with my sister, my younger sister, with my son in the pram, walking through university. And she sat outside for me with him as a baby while I had this meeting.
Yes.
And then I came away with 2 assignments, and she said, if you can get these done before Christmas and they're to the standard that we want them, then we'll let them on the second year.
Yeah.
And I remember being at home with my son and my sister. My son was about 4 months old by this point, and I was doing these assignments at home between feedings and all sorts.
Yeah.
But I thought, I'm going to have to get used to this because this is what it's going to be like if I go back to university. I'm going to have to manage working and looking after my son and going to university.
Yeah.
And it was thinking about things and reflecting and making a plan. That is so important. You have to have a plan to be able to get to where you want to go.
100%.
And that's what I sat down and I did. I made that plan.
Right. And I like the fact, one of the words which you said, to finish. You know, when you start something, make sure you finish it. You know, again, I think that's another thing which you can talk about success. When you start something, make sure you finish it. You might not like it. You know, sometimes you might like, you know, even when you apply for uni or whatever, or okay, I want to drive, whatever. You know, just having that desire is good. Starting it is good. But I think there's a big accomplishment when you finish. You can be like, whew, thank God, I'm done. You know.
I would expand on that. I would probably say, instead of finishing, just to keep going, because it's okay to change.
Yes.
So many times I've changed what I'm doing.
Big time.
And it's not, you'll see quotes all over the place all the time. It's about the destination. Where are you going to?
Yes.
It's okay to change your direction, but where are you going? And that's what you need to keep in focus. And that will be your finish line.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, and again, I think for the sake of it, let's look at like using the term finish. You know, again, there's a short period of thing. There's some tasks which you need to do. You know, doing your assignment. That's maybe 2 months you need to finish that assignment. I don't think so. Most of the times, like 2 weeks or whatever, you need to finish that assignment. You know. Anyway, but when you finish that assignment, when you're struggling, you think, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I go find maybe 3,000 ways to finish, whatever. But when you finish that, you celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, you celebrate and think like, oh my God.
Well, it comes into what we were saying before about it being okay to ask for help as well, because if you're struggling, and say talking about assignments, if you've got an assignment in 2 weeks but you've got so much going on, it's okay to ask for help. If you need to extend that deadline and give yourself more time to be able to get there, that is better than completely giving up.
Big time, 100%. And it's just to show you again that there's not any excuses that you can make of saying that I cannot succeed. You know, you might have challenges. We all have different challenges, but as long as you are determined to achieve your goal, as long as you don't stop, you know, you can rest a little bit, if that makes sense. You just can be okay, keep going, you know, keep on go back and forth. But as long as you are in the game, you can still succeed, and that's again, it's just to show that how amazing you are. You know, because I was looking and thinking like, wow, how does she do it? How in order does she, you know, because again, in terms of again, I can look at it in terms of culturally speaking, you know, your parent might be like, oh, you know, we told you not to do this and that, you know, our parents have a plan for us. You know, they have a plan of us when we need to get married, when we need to leave, how much we need to be earning. You know, who's going to be our husband or wife, whatever. They have, and I think like, yo, are you going to literally live my dream? You live my life, if that makes sense. You know, and there's a level of pressure that individual faces. But as I said again, is that showing you that again, no, there's a lot of people who do a crazy thing because they've been pregnant or whatever that they kill themselves. In the different cultures, it's like taboo or whatever. But being able to see that, just that having that focus and that having that dream, I just want to encourage anybody who out there thinking that, okay, because I'm pregnant, or I failed one of the exams, my parent, again, our parents have they have a higher standard for us, which is good.
Yeah.
And which is good. However, we are human beings at the end of the day. We're going to make our journey. Our journey is different from their journey. Our life is different. So, but as long as you are able to have your own plan of going to succeed, that's it. And I believe when you had that plan to your parents, whatever, like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Your parents were like, okay, fine, you know what you're doing. Because now they're not worried anymore, because they're saying like, okay, you know what, she's growing and she's showing maturity in what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? Even though she might have changed things, but it's showing that she's learning in order to do it. So you finish university, you're graduating. How was that experience? How was that experience of you going up and down and you're thinking, oh my God, finally?
It was exhilarating, I'm not going to lie. I think there were so many different things going on. So there was the whole, there were challenges in the first course.
Yeah.
And then in my second course, there was so much that went on during that 3 years. I mean, just to quickly run through it. So I went back, my son was under one. At one point, I was working about 3 part-time jobs and studying.
Wow.
I got married. I experienced a loss of a baby.
Right.
I took on internships. I did an entrepreneurship placement scheme. I was involved in all sorts, the course with yourself.
Yes.
All sorts. So graduating was like...
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. I got here.
Yes.
I'm proud of myself, and it's taking that time to actually give yourself a pat on the back.
Big time.
But I was just so happy. And then it just kind of opened up new possibilities at that point as well. It's like, right, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
What awaits me?
Yes.
And it was exciting. It was an exciting time.
Yeah. And I think big time, I can ask, I've got so many questions that I can ask. That in terms, because it's very, when we go through our life, we meet people, we don't know what challenges they're going through, and, and the biggest, well, for me, I believe our emotion is everything. Our mental health is everything. Which you can, I don't know if you would like to touch upon that, like, how did you get into that space of being able to, like, okay, how are you doing these amazing things? Because, for me, the way I see it, I'm like, oh my God. And again, that's why I'm seeing that inspiration and that motivation that I can be like, yo, let me listen to you. Because there's a lot of things that you can tell somebody or a young person that maybe they will never experience, but it can be a lesson for somebody to be like, wow, how did you mentally, how did you get that mental, like, where did you get it from? If I can ask that question again.
Well, my mum's amazing, she's my role model. But yeah, I think, again, at the beginning we talked about kind of how you can incorporate things into your life to learn skills and things like that. And I think all of it came down to planning and organisation again, because as you go through things in life, you have to sit down and you have to take your breaks and you have to think, right, I'm faced with this problem or I'm faced with this challenge.
Yes.
What are my options? What am I going to do? And then it's making that plan and following it through step by step.
Yeah.
And continuing to finish it, as we say, to get to the end of that.
Yes.
and it's asking for help again. It's speaking to people if you need to speak to people.
Yeah.
Find out who it is that you can talk to, and it's not going to be one person that you can talk to everything about everything. Sometimes you have to speak to that person about this, and you have to speak to that person about that. But it's finding that kind of feeling okay in yourself and not feeling like you failed and not feeling like people are going to look at you badly.
Yes.
You have to get to that space where it's you know it's okay to ask for help, and you're actually stronger for doing that. You're actually stronger
for saying you gotta say that again. Yeah, so you're stronger of asking help. You know, you got, I think, it's a weird one, asking for help, because again, you think, how should I ask it? You know, they might say no, they might say whatever, but asking for help, you might even get things quicker done by asking for help. You know, one thing.
Believe me, I have learned the hard way sometimes. It has been the journey, and it's that perseverance.
Yeah.
You have to persevere through things.
And I give an example, like, for example, if I go into a shop and I don't know anything regarding that shop, the first thing I'll go to the person who sell assistance. That's the reason they're there. I'll be like, excuse me, where can I get the chocolate from? Or whatever which I'm looking for. And they'll be like, oh, it's just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk that way, that way.
And that give me that 5 minutes of me walking around, 1 second, whatever. And I've got that interaction with that person, just get what I need to get. That's it. And sometimes, as I said, asking for help, you don't know how much information an individual might have. And it's I've experienced so many times where I'm just like doing something and I'm struggling, and I'm like, oh my God, I know this person, I know that person, I know that person. They do this, and like, oh, yo, can you help me with this? And that person like, oh yeah, and it's so surprising that our dreams or our ambition is linked to people.
Yeah,
a big time is linked to people that sometimes we might not know what they do, but being able to know, like, okay, this person does that person does that. How can they help me, or how can I help them to achieve their goal?
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing. And one of the things which I would like to speak about is a common purpose when we went to that program itself.
Yeah.
Because I know that program is one. When I look back at uni, it was one of the programs which I was like, so motivated me, like in terms of being surrounded with people who have the same purpose or same goal. They're having that drive, that network. And how was your experience just being in that environment where you just like, oh my God, we are learning something, and not only learning from it, and we are also seeing people who have applied this. How was that for you?
It was great, because it just shows you that there are other like-minded people around, and it shows you how motivated it can make you when you surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
And it's stuff that you carry on through. You can apply it to work, you can apply it to your personal life.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to have people like that. I mean, the course was great.
100%. And for me, I still like when you mention about it or whatever, for me, just like, oh my God, I really enjoy it. Like literally spending the entire week with people who have the same, they're motivated for a week. That's a transformation.
Yeah.
That can
and then you think about it as well, don't you? Because if we spent that short amount of time around like-minded people, and we still think about it years on.
Big time.
Imagine having people like that in your life on a permanent basis. You've got friends like that. You speak to family members that are like that, and how much more that can transform your life. So important about the company you keep and the situations and environments that you put yourself in.
100%. And one of the things which I always notice for your from your Instagram, you always have a quote. You always have something where it's just like, wow, okay, I really like that. Where does that come from? Like, how do you get those spice, or just like, okay, because again, I'm not being like struggling or whatever, because for me, I look at it in terms of business. Business is personal. As an individual, your business is going to, where your personality is going to be shown in your business.
Yeah.
And what is your view in terms of that?
Yeah, I think there's one thing that's changed as well, because depending on what type of business you're in,
yes,
a lot of people take the corporate approach, and it's not very personable. So you have to be personable to kind of reach people.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the quotes, I mean, that for me is sometimes the little reminders that I need for myself in the day. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and it's kind of like I'll be looking for motivation. So I read online, and I always pick the ones that speak to me, but I know that other people will need to hear as well. They're kind of like just pick me ups in the morning.
Yeah. And I think again, it's I think it's really important to have that. You know, funny enough, for me, motivation, I got encountering with motivation when I was at uni in my second year. And I know I had a really hard course or something like that. And literally, I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And literally, and I was in the library, do you know, the quiet area on level.
I think
yes. And I just got my headphone and I stopped doing what I was doing or like all I was studying. And I was like, okay. And I don't know what I type because I never used to involve myself in motivation. I never heard anything in terms of motivation, you know. And I heard this guy talking, and I was just like, wow. Literally, it just my spirit was like, wow, you know. And that's why I think that's why in a way I'm doing this, especially for like when I'm uploading on on Sunday, is to be able to bring somebody like, okay, I'll have the weekend, whatever, and I'm going back to to work on Monday, or this is but being able to have something on Sunday and to be able to listen to somebody motivated you, I think is really important. And it's very interesting. One of the things which I'll do in a training. And in that training, now we have to go out and to do a certain amounts. And I was just walking. I'm thinking like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And a certain quote which I heard in the past at that time made me motivated. And it's very why do I say that? Like sometimes we listen to something, we hear somebody saying something. At that time, it might not be beneficial for us.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe in 2 weeks' time, that what you heard in the past, then it becomes so important for you to hold on to it. You know, and I just like that how you are. You know, when you post that, I just like, wow, I like that. let me put it in my bag. You know, because sooner or later I will need it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and understanding that you need to have something in place in order to know that, you know what, tomorrow I might not have the job. You know, tomorrow I might not have whatever I want. Everything today seems to be alright, whatever, or vice versa. But being able to have that motivation or listen to something that inspires you is really important.
Yes.
Big time. So in terms of the future, you know, once you're alive there and you're just like, oh yeah. You know, and it's crazy when it comes to motivation because there's sometimes where people speak about pain or people speaking like, oh, this and that, you're thinking like, yeah, whatever, or pain is temporary. And when you're in that journey, when somebody say pain is temporary, you're thinking like, yo, I'm in pain right now. So don't tell me that pain is temporary. No, you know, and I think there's also a level of like for example, I give an example because we start a family business, and when we start a family business, I was listening to all these quotes, whatever, blah blah blah, yeah, whatever. I'm listening to it, like, yeah, I'm fired up, whatever. And then when the business start kicking in, or whatever, or a lot of things is not going well, then you think like, okay, wow, all this success, whatever, it is a journey. It's not a one thing time where you are going to be successful or whatever. It's a journey that you need to take. You need to remind yourself that whatever you hear is for you to take it, and at the same time or period of time you're going to apply it. You know. And for you, what was it that told you that I want to be self-employed? I want to start my own business. What was it?
I think a little bit of everything, really. I think my personality as well, I can be quite stubborn. My parents will tell you I was. And just the idea of going to work for somebody else and not be able to be myself and be creative didn't appeal to me. And I think because I had lots of part-time jobs in different industries and doing different things, again, it didn't sit well with me. It felt stifling. So that was one of the things. But then also because I had my son, I wanted to be able to be present for him. I wanted to be able to go to sports days. I wanted to be able to go into school if there was a play or anything like that. So it was needing that flexibility. And other parents will know, trying to find a job and working for somebody and trying to fit that around your family life and be there for your kids is so hard, because businesses, they don't care. You've got a job to do, you need to come in, you need to stay from this time to that time to get it done. No, you can't leave early. Do you know what I mean? I needed that flexibility to have my family, to be there for my family, and to be me as well.
And I really love that. And that, again, that's success. You know, there's a lot of people are, they're working 9-to-5 jobs. They don't like that job. And you question them like, why are you doing something you don't like? And you should do something which you are passionate about. And again, when you're passionate about something, you're living. You're not like, oh, yeah, here comes the boss, I have to do this, whatever. No, you are present, and you're making an impact. You're doing something which is important. Even though to somebody else might not seem that, but to you it is very important for you to do it. And you have to be stubborn in a way. There's nothing wrong of you being stubborn. It's knowing when to be stubborn and when not to be. You can use it in a light way or a long time. It's a skill. Because if anybody comes to you like, oh, do this or agree with me with this one, and you just agree, you're not creating where's your character? It's not there. You're just agreeing with everybody. But being able to know the right time, like, you know what, this is my value system, and you cannot change that. So I'm gonna be stubborn regarding that. There's no way you can change in terms of that. But I will listen to you. I will listen to what you're saying, and I'll just like, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Okay, that's what he says, yeah. Okay. What can I take from what he said, even though I don't agree with it, to apply in my life? You know what I'm saying? And it's, again, I look at myself or whatever, where a parent will tell you to do something, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing this. And then somebody else will say the same thing, maybe in a different way, where it's just like, yeah, I'll do it. It means like, again, there's a lot of things. The way they said it, were they shouting at you? Was it the right time for them saying what they said? It can be correct that it's the right thing which they said, but they said it at the wrong time. So it's just understanding that there's a lot of things there's a lot of variable in press which is right, but at the same time is wrong. And I think being stubborn, there's nothing wrong with that. When you know what you want and you are determined to go and achieve your goal, you can do it. So just tell me a little bit about your business. Like, what do you do?
So I started off. I was working at the time, so I graduated, and I went to work for the Home Office. And I was working full time, but I still really loved, by this point, because I'd done my interactive media with animation, I'd done a little bit of everything creative, websites, 3D modeling, things like that. And I still really love to do it. So I kind of took the full-time job to support my family, but at the same time I was still looking for something that allowed me to do what I'm really passionate about. And because I was talking to people about my passion at work and things like that, people were coming to me, they were saying, oh, do you think you'd be able to help me design this leaflet? Oh, do you think you'd be able to help me with this logo? I'm thinking about setting up a business. Do you know anything about doing this, that, and the other? And I was just having conversations with people, helping people out with designs and things like that, because I love doing it. It was a hobby. It was my passion as well. And then that kind of turned into people saying, could you do this for so-and-so? They'll pay you.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought,
yes.
Yeah. So I was working full time, and then I was doing these side projects and getting paid to do them. And then I fell pregnant with my daughter. And by the time I got to my maternity leave, I was still having regular jobs come through for what I wanted to do.
Yes.
And I just never went back to work.
Wow.
So I started.
So they're still waiting for you to come back.
Yeah, I left on maternity. I was like, sorry, I'm not. I don't think I'm coming back.
Right.
Yeah. So I was doing it as self-employed for a while, and then it just kept growing.
Yes.
So then I ended up registering as a limited company in 2018.
Right.
I did a bit of rebranding because I expanded my services. Right. So I do things now like websites, logos, other graphic design, digital marketing, and my main passion with all of that is using that to help people start their businesses and support people in their business journeys. Right. I love working with startups and entrepreneurs because it gives me more creativity and flexibility as well. It's listening to my clients and hearing what it is that they're passionate about and then creating something for them and helping them with their journey. Because I know how it felt for me and I loved it, and it's nice to be able to help somebody else do that as well. So that's my business in a nutshell.
Wow. Yeah, and that's amazing that your passion or your habit become your business. You know, and I like the fact that even though you're in a position or you're doing a job that you did not like, you're still going there, but you still I believe those people who came to you because they saw there was a passion in you, there was a fire in you, in your passion. In terms of designing or whatever, because if you're like, oh yeah, I did designing and that's it, no one wants to come to you, you know. But you had a certain level of energy that they were, you know, you're telling everybody like, yo, I did this. Where like, okay, cool. Oh, guess what? I got an idea. I need to design this. They'll come back to you because that fire which you put in them, they want you to come. You know, they want you. Because they've seen how you were passionate about it. And I think, again, in terms of your success, you know, you might not be in that position where you want to get what you want, but speak what you want, and you'll get it.
Yeah.
You know, so being in that environment where you're like, okay, this is what I do. Again, this is social media. You know, we're posting pictures or whatever. The question is, what you want are you showing what you want to have, because sooner or later it's going to manifest. Have you read The Secret?
I have,
Right.
Okay.
Yes, you know. So basically, what you put outside there is going to be is going to bring forth. You know, it might take long, but as long as you believe like what you wanted, it's going to happen. And I guess, and again, which is very interesting, is that you didn't plan it. You know, you want it to happen. You have that desire for it to happen. But the way it happened, it was not like, okay, boss, I'm quitting today. It didn't happen that way. For some people, they have to do that. They have to tell the boss, like, you know what, I'm quitting today. But for you, it was a gradual way for you to do it. You know, so again, anybody who's listening, listen that your journey is different. You know. And don't let your passion die, because I believe the people you're helping and starting out businesses, you know, you are the right person for them. If that makes sense, you are. You know, there's no if you didn't do your course, if you did not preserve or continue doing what you're doing, you know, the business which you are helping, somebody else could have helped them, but not the way you are helping them. If that makes sense. So which means we are all unique and our value is there, you know, and where we are there for a reason. I believe that, you know, and we help people for a certain reason. You know, I'll give you a simple example. You know, I remember I was in college waiting for a bus, and there was a lady with a tram. What do you call it? The pusher for the baby.
Oh, the pram.
Yeah, and she had a little child. and the little child was like about to run into the road, and I stopped that child. You know, guess what? I missed my bus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And which is just showing that I was there for a reason at that time. Because if I ever caught that bus before, I don't know what could have, we don't know what could have happened. So it's just showing you that your dreams and your passion, they are there for a reason. And you have to take that step. Take that first step. Just go for it. Maybe you're afraid. Were you afraid when you had your first client? When they asked you in terms of the prices, like how was that experience where you have to give them a quote of your service?
Yeah, that was. I wasn't very nervous about that because it's. I guess it's hard when you're doing something that's your passion and that you love.
Yes.
It's hard to put a value on it for somebody else because I would do things for free, but unfortunately that doesn't pay the bills.
Yes.
But then sometimes, because it's very personal to you, you don't know whether that person's going to appreciate it the same way. You don't know whether to. I mean, I've been told I undercharge, but then sometimes you feel like you're overcharging for something as well. It's very, very difficult. It was very nerve-wracking. Doing my first quotes, it was very. But I think again, it's a learning process. It's trial and error. It's doing it the first time, and they might think it was a little bit too expensive for what you provided. So then you either drop your prices down or you train a bit harder.
Right. And one other thing which I've learned, and that stuck with me so far, is in terms of your clients, they come to you because they've seen something from you. If they are true clients of yours, they want your service, they're going to pay whatever amount you say to them, they're going to pay it. Because they value your service, they value you.
Yes, yeah.
Then there's again if they follow you on Instagram or whatever. If I want a website or whatever, I'm like, she's passionate about this, and I definitely want her to do that. I want her to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? So your personality, again, this is why I'm talking about business, and your personality is very important. I want somebody who's passionate, and if you're passionate, I'm going to pay whatever you want to charge me. Because I want that service from you.
Yes.
And I think it's important for you. I can give as advice is for you to know that your client, they come to you because they value your service. So don't ever feel like, okay, I should put a price to have a client. I prefer having one client who appreciate my service than having a lot of people they don't appreciate my service. And it's I don't know if you've ever been in a position where you've done a service to somebody and you undercharge them first of all, and they keep on bugging you, and you're thinking like, why in the world did I even charge them less night shoot?
You will have all sorts of clients over the years. I mean, like I say, it's been a learning process. And that's where the stubbornness comes in as well at the right point, because, like you say, it's knowing that the right person will pay the right price and will value what you're offering them. And that is, again, like I say, that's a learning process. But I've had clients where they've come back and they're not. They want more
than what they pay for.
They expect so much. And you just have to learn to deal with the different clients and what they come with. But it is standing your ground. And this is it.
Big time.
This is what you get in, and this price is good for it.
And I think that's really true. Again, in terms of relationship, that's the same thing. That procedure of okay, how are you valuing me in that relationship? How are you valuing me in that business? When you know who you are, that journey first will start with you. Once you know who you are, and like, no, I'm not accepting that. I've been raised to expect at the highest standard. I expect you to treat me this way. I expect you to respect my business, whatever. When you have that, you might have less people coming to you, but the service you are providing is amazing. You know, it's just, again, when we look about cars or different, there's some vehicles or whatever. You're thinking like it's the same vehicle with everybody else, but the service when you go in, the way they treat you, you're thinking like, wow,
yeah,
I feel like I'm rich.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like the way they treat me, I'm thinking like, wow, I know that I don't have any cash in my account right now, but the way they're
yeah,
treating me, I'm thinking like, wow, I feel treated as if I'm very rich person, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just showing you that when you value yourself and the way you conduct yourself, your
yes,
business is going to show as well. You know, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
another thing which you can look at in terms of your success is your signature. You know, that's it. You know, I can be like, oh, yo, my website was made by this person. You know, and
yeah,
everybody else will like, oh, I want that person to do it for me. You know, because there's something of you that is more valuable than even that website which you've done. Is that connection which you have with that person. You know,
yeah.
and a human connection is everything.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and those clients as well, those types of clients are the best types of clients because they're the ones that will become an advocate for
Yes.
you,
Uh-huh.
and then they can tell everybody
Yeah, big time.
how you made them feel,
Mhm.
the service you provided,
Yeah.
and then they come to you then because they trust that that person has had a great experience with
Yes.
you and they know what to expect.
Big time, 100%. And yeah, I just love the talk which we're having right now. Is you know, there's a lot of things. But if you look back right now and if you were speaking to yourself, maybe when you were 15 years old or whatever, you know, we hate this kind of quotes. What would you say to yourself?
Oh gosh, I think the only thing, not the only thing, but I think the main thing I would probably say to myself is keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
As I say, life is life.
Big time.
You will get curveballs. You'll have great runs.
Mhm.
As they say, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yes.
There will be lots of ups and downs, but you've just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Got to keep going.
That's really true. And yeah, any young person who's there listening to this, keep going. You know, big time. You know, I think I like seeing the young people to be able to see what they can be able to do. You know, because a lot of time we are in that position where the young people, they are the next generation. We are the next generation. And when we have the right people in our community or in our industry who can be able to, you can be able to look up to and feel like, oh, you know what, I can also do it.
Yes.
You know, they're just like you and me. You know, I think so many times there's a big distance from when we see like superstars in the movies or whatever. Like, oh, I want to be like this person or whatever. Yeah, they are far from you, if that makes sense. But when you, that's where for me, I'm like, yo, I've got a lot of people who are so inspirational. Like, why in the world am I not even speaking to them? That's why I was like, that first of all, that's the reason I'm doing this. Because I've seen that lady. You know, by you telling me this, that's like, it just opened doors for me. You know, it just, that opened my understanding in a different way that, oh, you know what? Okay, I might be feeling pain. I might be in a position where I don't know what to do. But I can be able to speak to somebody else. I can be able to come out from my comfort zone and ask somebody else, like, what can I do? How can I make this better? You know, and you know, I remember I was doing one of the training, and you know, the guy was like, "Okay, you're going to run for 45 minutes." 45 minutes. Yeah, I never run for even more than 10. Okay, I run for 10 minutes or whatever. And I was just like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I cannot do that.
Yeah.
But I was doing. I started running whatever on a gym thing, and I'm thinking like, whoa, guess what? I've run for an hour, more than more than what he told me to do. You know, so it just show us our ability or our potential is more than what we think. You know, so having when you just having people around you and knowing that, oh, you know what, this person is a little further than me. They're doing better than me. That should not be something making you shy away. That should be something like, yo, okay, you're good at this. You're good at this topic. You're good at this subject. What should I do?
Because is success is different. Success is different for everybody. It means something different.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's journey is different. Everybody's duration of their journey is different. And what's right for somebody else is not necessarily going to be right for you. But as long as you're trying and you keep going, it's all good.
Yeah, big time. Are there anything else would you like to say before? I don't know if I think we've talked as much as you could. I don't know if there's anything which I've not asked you. You think you would like to share or anything like that? Go for it.
I don't know. We've talked about all sorts, haven't we? But yeah, I think just to reiterate again, just to highlight the different points. Try. Get started. It's okay to speak to somebody and ask for help. It's all right to take a break. Like we said, you need to take a break, sit back, apply things in your daily life that you can then take to work as well. Like, for instance, when I was talking about making a plan and writing things down, trial and error. It's okay to get things wrong. Just keep trying, try a different method. But yeah,
I think definitely. I think we just hit all the points that, which is again, is very interesting seeing people from different industry doing different things. That success formula is still there. No, as long as you're saying you are trying, as long as you are pushing yourself, going in a network where you can express yourself and finding someone else where you can be like, okay, you know what, I'll come. They don't even need to know that you are their mentor, they're mentoring you or whatever. Just ask them questions like, how do you do this? They tell you like, okay, how can I do that? Okay, cool. I'll see you in 2 weeks time. Okay, I've done this. Oh yeah, last time when we spoke, we were talking about this. You know what? I tried it.
And that's why it's good to keep the right people in your circle as well. You can go and ask for help, but you need to ask for help from the right
person. Yes, yeah. Because you see so many times people try to discourage you from pursuing your dream. They're like, oh, it's too hard. No one ever does. Again,
it would be too hard for them.
Yes.
But like I said, it's what's right for them is not right for you. You're asking about you and your journey.
Yes. And I think again, being stubborn is a good thing. Being stubborn with your passion is a good thing. Knowing that, no, okay, you say you couldn't do it. Well, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to show you that I can do it. And that's what we see in a lot of people we are looking up to, that they are successful. But it's because they decided to take a step and start going forward.
Yes.
I just appreciate it. I know I've even ran over the time we should. I was not even I was not even looking at time or anything like that. But I think it is really important to have your view. I would appreciate you big time because it's especially what's going on around the world, whatever. I feel like we need to have that positivity, and especially in communities. People need to see like, oh, you know what, we can also do it. I can also do it. Okay, maybe my dad is not doing IT. My mom's not doing IT. Okay, I want to do business. No one does business in my family or whatever. But just being able to be inspired by somebody else, closer to you is amazing. I just wish you all the best with the business. What's the name of the business again?
Yeah, it's Vyber Digital.
Okay, and definitely I'll put all those information on the below of this video so people can just follow you or look up, or somebody be like, yo, I saw you, can you do me a leaflet or whatever. So I think it's really important to share our knowledge, our path of business or stuff. And
if anybody wants to drop a message, that's fine. Holler at me.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and I think I might really want to do something else later on. I'll just invite you, like, want you to share some knowledge in a certain area, because again, your view and my view is completely different. We're from different background, different storylines, whatever. But seeing success is success at the end of the day. It's just the procedure and the willingness to learn about it. So everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And we just wish you all the best. Of your journey. Why are you struggling with? You might be thinking is a struggle, but that can be your strength. your struggle is your strength to be able to move on. So don't look at it in a negative way. Look at it in a positive way. So yeah, thank you very much, and we shall see you later on. So yeah, bye. Okay.